DJ special.
Yeah, so basically, for some reason,
We have John
Red
Doe.
special.
we have John
DJ
Doe in the
Red
background,
special.
but you're not allowed
DJ
to.
special Red.
And then we got
DJ special
a
attention.
Dominican, no facial here.
So about these
Que le vaina, loco.
Nice.
Ese
software
plátano.
platforms for production, the hardware.
Do you think that DJs sell out when they go into getting into the digital age?
Yes.
Honestly,
Yo,
honestly, like if you want to get to that,
dropping it, it's like it's hot.
if you want to get to that situation,
like it's hot, or he's having
Alright.
a seizure.
Alright, wait a minute. Now that you asked me that question,
I think that's good. That's
I thought you were gonna ask.
No, okay, I'll ask you.
Alright, I'll steal the question from Eric. Honestly, I think the digital age, yeah, it changes the game because now anybody can get into the game and they start DJing. It's kind of easier. Back then, you had to have vinyls if you're a DJ and you were a specific DJ. You know, if you did house, you did house. If you did hip hop, you buy your hip hop records. Yeah, you bought some of everything, but you always had like your favorite, you know, genre that you had the most records of, and that's what you would spin. As far as the laptop age now is that you download anything you want. So you can go ahead and download like all the house that you like, all the hip hop.
Okay.
So you could expand your genres.
So you like it?
I like it, and personally, I think it made me a better DJ because it helped me how to learn how to blend better. Because as far as the grids and the syncing on the beats, it helped me to be a better DJ. And I just became more creative with what I had to play.
Alright, Eric, what do you think?
Jigglypuff.
What was the question again? So the turntables really gave you that feel when you transferred to CDs. It was push button. Not to say that you couldn't blend, but when the CDJs came out, take care, sir. When the CDJs came out, it was able to replicate.
Drive safe, drive safe.
In
the digital realm, analog traits. The slowing down of the platter, the sound of it when you scratched, attempted to scratch whatever you're doing, the song itself. The only thing that was lacking was the rotation of the platter, which is a part of the feel. You need that resistance when platter's rotating clockwise.
It also can't catch that analog feel, that sound.
Well, the sound is one of those things that, I mean,
not gonna catch it.
It depends on. I mean, vinyl records, yeah, they're mastered differently, and you can get into an argument. That's going into an engineering realm right there. We need Brim to address that.
Brim's still 127.
Shout out.
Yeah.
But as far as that goes, it's mainly about the feel, though. That's the thing.
I mean,
and, it's a smaller platter typically when you're dealing with the CDs, and I mean it's similar to when you're cutting up 45 RPM records on a turntable. You know, it feels a little different.
What do you think
there.
of that 7s, you like?
They're convenient. They're good. Like I said, it's weird getting used to the feel of the platter when you're spinning back because it tends to glide. Maybe it's that one, or I can tighten it or whatever. But it's cool. I've spun on them before. I'll spin on tapes if I have to. You know.
Spin on.
I've gone between. I've used DVD players to play CDs and mix those. Anything you could think of, I've done it. Use samplers, whatever.
Do you like to use CDJs?
Yeah.
But I never seen you on CDJs. I always see you on turntables and then bringing your vinyls, and you're like a purist, and which I respect because I also think, you know, Like, you know, me, sometimes I'm lazy and I don't get into the vibe sometimes, and I don't want to like listen to the beat and start blending beats and like using that part of my brain sometimes. So I just go ahead and, you know, my laptop, match grids and just blend. But with vinyl, you know, you don't have that option. You have to blend regardless, you know, so you have to know your records. You have to know kind of like, okay, this goes with this goes with that. And you cannot just put like a random record on there and think it's going to blend, you know. You have to always constantly keep the tempo. So yeah. I respect that about you, you know, is that you're a purist and you know how to blend all the time with ear, that's awesome because, you know, and then, you know, like you don't have an on and off switch, it's like you're constantly doing it. You know, with me sometimes, because since I blend sometimes with grids and sometimes I do by ear, sometimes, you know, I feel like I want to do things with ear and I mess the mix up entirely, you know, and everybody's looking at me like I'm stupid. But yeah, you know, it happens sometimes, but if you know how to blend by ear, then yeah, it's like everything, you know, you could just flow natural and you could just mix with anything, you know what I'm saying? Which I think is kind of cool also.
Yeah. So being a digital DJ doesn't make you any less of a DJ than a vinyl DJ if you've never touched a record in your life. I know, and I've seen DJs and I've heard DJs say that, you know, you should have at least however many records, or you should, you know, have gone through having to carry 1 million crates. I think you should look into that and research that.
It's like a B-boy saying that you should always have a background breaking on concrete, doing head spins raw.
Yeah, you know, scalping yourself for the sake of the art. But I don't know, you could, you know, DJ plays music. You could be a radio DJ that doesn't, you know, mix. You could be a party rocking DJ who blends. You could be a tableist. You could. What I like is combining the two. Combining, you know, scratch DJ with, you know, party rock. And to me, that's what I observed. There was that collective. We were doing events, Future Primitive. That was a perfect example of what I think had the biggest influence on me as a DJ coming up in the late '90s. You know, throughout the early 2000s. You know, a lot of Bay Area DJs who were serious crate diggers, but were into combining their selections in really creative ways. You know, just for example, a perfect example of this is the Brain Freeze sessions by Cut Chemist and Shadow. You know, and also, you know, cats like Hubert, Birdie Nam Nam, like guys who not only cut, but then you have the other DJs who can rock parties, but will get together and compose scratch music, like dedicated scratch music.
Well, what do you think about those guys? Those guys that basically. We'll go back to scratch music in a second, but what do you think about those guys as far as like the party DJs, the ones that yell more than they do anything else?
I think the yelling can get a little annoying after a while. A little, you know, some interspersing of a word here and there, or, you know, I don't know, asking for water or something, or saying hi to your friends.
What do you think about the old ghetto style DJs?
Okay, wait.
That was actually kind of entertaining. I will say, those guys, those you know, those Miami bass or just Miami DJs back in the day.
Rest in peace, Uncle Al.
Yeah, they what they did with the mic checking, where they would just ad lib over tunes.
Yeah.
That's actually I've tried it. That's difficult.
It's hard.
It's funny, but after a while, it's like, all right, shut up. But as far as, you know, what they were doing, they would rock parties. What they were doing was carrying on the legacy of the original New York City DJs. You know, rocking the block parties. That's what it was about. And what the New York City DJs were borrowing from were the old school reggae sound system DJs. You know what I'm saying? So it's just carrying on that tradition. And you know, then the scratching came into the scene, and then, you know, the Bay Area, like I said, took it to the stratosphere. You know, those guys were thinking they were talking with aliens when they were cut.
That's crazy.
So now, what do you think about scratch music? I mean,
I love it.
For most of these guys in Miami and stuff like that, especially guys that came up during the Bass 305, Magic Mike.
Oh, everybody's cutting.
All those guys. They had some serious cutting.
Everybody's cutting.
But it was done over like very fast paced, typically sped up house music, stuff like that. At least that's what we kind of noticed it as, and then they would interlace it with different stuff and throw some funk samples in it.
Well, yeah, it was samples of breaks sped up, you know.
Right. Dope stuff though, and they would just kill it. What do you think about scratch music? Where it started and where it's gone?
I think it's a phenomenal art form. I really have seen it advance, and how companies have taken note of that. You know, back in the day, you know, when it was developing, it's just like spray can. It's like writing. You know, they were just using the aerosol cans that were available to them at that time. Now you have, you know, industries that revolve around that. You've got, you know, tips and cans and all the colors that they offer that cater to that. You know what I'm saying? That's due to, you know, the foundation being laid and, you know, the business being built over that. It's the same thing with DJing. You had, you didn't have the equipment that makes it a lot easier. Not to say that the art is easier, but it's fitted for that and it's made for that. Right. So it's allowed DJs to really, you know, everything from the extended pitch range, you know, from 10 on a 1200, 0 to 10, to 0 to 100. You know what I'm saying? There's some wacky things you could do with that on a CD player, which can keep the pitch while playing the speed faster, still retain the speed. Yeah, that's weird stuff I don't understand. Yeah, mathematical algorithms that make my brain explode.
What went through your mind when the first time you pushed down on one of those CD mixers, I guess, or turntables?
The CDJs?
Yeah, and you just...
That to me was a turning point.
And tripped out, right?
I saw that as a turning point. I said, the game's changed now. Because prior to that, there were guys that...
Because it was on point.
If you were a hip-hop DJ, there was just... You'd look at a CD player and you're like, pah! You know, what's that? You could not replicate that with a vinyl turntable. The cut, the sound, the slowdown. That changed the game. And it took a little time. It was a transition period where it took time for people to warm up to it, and eventually, it was the same thing with Serato. When that dropped in 05 or 04, I don't know, whatever, sometime in the middle of the 2000s, it was something that, you know, there was a debate again. Oh no, this isn't real, this is digital, but people began to realize you'd have to be a fool to not take advantage of what this affords you, especially if you're a traveling DJ and a producer. You know, you could just... And the processing power of what the laptop affords you, it's amazing. You know, a lot of guys aren't even using turntables, they're just using their laptops and DJing through Ableton or other programs, which is awesome.
How about the new MIDI controllers?
Oh, those are awesome.
Like the Pioneer, you see the new Pioneer with the buttons and stuff? It has 4 turntables.
That's really cool.
It's 4 turntables. Okay, it has 2 wheels and it has 2 play buttons. 2 on one side and 2 on the other side. So you start 4 turntables.
Sounds like fun.
Like
and it has 8 cue buttons on each whatever turntable,
really cool,
which is crazy.
That's really cool. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I just want to see that coexist alongside, you know, your standard.
I mean, yeah, of course, the turntable thing, I think it will never fade out because that reminds, like, the people where, you know, where DJing came from. It was from 2 turntables and a mixer. You know what I'm saying? That's where DJ, you know, really came from. That's the roots. So when people see that, I know. I mean, when I'm sorry to, I know it, you know, but I'm just sorry to interfere. Yeah, I mean, I just have to say, because I know sometimes when you go up to a party and you show up with a MIDI controller, people look at you like, whatever. It doesn't matter how fancy it looks, they'll be like, whatever. But when you show up with turntables, they look at you like, they respect you more. They look at you like, whoa, you know, you probably know what you're doing. Yeah, you get like a lot of cool points when you show up with the turntables.
Just because no one's ever seen those things before.
Yeah, I mean, they're kind of like dinosaurs nowadays. From what I hear, they're discontinued too. I think they don't even make techniques anymore. Yeah, a certain... That's what they told me.
I'm still not accepting. Yeah, I would too if I...
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Oh, if you have a hat, you could do it if you wanted to.
Really putting it back in there,
if you really respected techniques, you would have taken them off.
They understand. It's alright. But, yeah, I mean, so hold on. You don't have any more tape?
I'm out of this. I guess today's subject is all about DJing.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Tell us all you think about production. Go.
Production? There's so much to say. New, old, digital, hardware, software.
Catalyst.
It's all about soul.
Twin.
If it ain't there,
Utopia
no matter
Syndrome,
what you use,
V-neck red.
Doesn't matter.
Yo.
All right.
Peace out.
Have a nice
This is
day.
Sleeping Dave. Adios.
You want to do another one about production? God bless you.
Yeah.
Or
say it one more time. One more time. Ready? 1, 2, 3. God bless y'all.